Question number I know what you got 90 91 what from 91 wala mali ko. Ano di hot ba? Last question go to ko 113 go to ba? Adu yengo se question number 84 ki se 84 is this theoretical question ni ko. Theoretical question je ai he cha kom ta mage nangi push ka pull ka se which one will be easier? Pull na easier ho yuni hai ko. This is due to your question number 84. Question number 84 is na mara mo ka. Yaar answer. Ado bhai na question number 85 ko hai city incline plane gira. Bhai hoy ai tak pi lagi yaar. Question number 84 diagram ani do separate oni yo gap khat humko calculation tang sangi. Question number 84 is the I received the extra this body is being acted upon by how many force? So force can act over basically 4. Friction ye case to lagta there are 4 forces hanga do je ko aham the way namle raba applied force le raba normal direction le dinatra surface rub over there will be another opposite force in the direction of motion opposite to the direction of motion motion sort of the chat paneba yan dai ko again is a smana dia kilo this is our normal direction r and ibla bra kare ko there are 4 different forces that acts on this body of mass m which is kept on this rough surface na thamba tumda what are the 4 forces identity number 1 the its own weight hangani ko number 2 the normal direction produced by the surface in contact yani and number 3 number 3 externally applied force F equal to mg can they go next number 4 ta kana lakani since it is acted upon by externally force F then this body will have a tendency to move in which direction it has a tendency to move to the right like right as a tendency that we must always consider the direction of frictional force opposite to the tendency so look at the left right magi force applied to ramnina left of the tendency la so basically we have 4 different forces yare sibukti khagi ko amane apply to your force number force no this is the pulling force no alai na kai hai ki se pulling the which one will be better or I really pulling or pulling at some angle will be easier no then see now one back of any object am le rekha se the horizontally placed or swine drag to Utaragadi, Punta Utaragadi, there will be more surface area of contact. Surface area of contact Amina, there will be more friction develop, okay? Friction the map develop to Ramina, then the force to apply to the wagani, just to the wagani. Understood the order? Aduna Kai Utai inclined to the Chingdina to pulling the shoe, horizontally pulling or pulling at some angle. Pulling at some angle will be far better than pulling horizontally. Yadra? Yariko? See diagram, this diagram is pulling at some angle. Angle to the pull to the rock. Yariko? Now let us find out the necessary condition. When this F equal to mg externally applied force when resolved along normal direction and when resolved along the horizontal direction, this will be equal to F F sine or cos. Angle same my cos. Angle same my sine. F sine of theta. Or this can be also be written as mg. This is sine of theta. Why? Because your F is given to be exactly equal to mg ka mana na pibra. Next time the component of your externally applied force along the normal direction will be equal to R plus along the same direction of Marina we have to take the addition, so it will be mg cos of theta. Can we shorten it like this? Force will be equal to mg f cos theta. That means it will be mg cos of theta. Understood to red? Yarani ko ay nangalan kariya na hagi. For any problem related to friction ki any problem first you have to find find out normal direction and have na to. Why? Because according to our frictional law, F is equal to frictional force small f is equal to mu times r. Without knowing the value of r, can we calculate or can we evaluate the value of frictional force small f? What pay did na? I say F is equal to this is mu r bro. First you have to find out the normal direction then find out the and in your friction chapter that your normal direction, that means the body will be maintaining equilibrium in vertical direction or in a direction perpendicular to the surface, perpendicular to the rough surface. I mean, nang sida angle theta da singbata nang back se ai khang one back of rice le because one back of rice se suaina hora gel thamaga de pull to roin hai ko suaina mai machine no par ka magi kare ani one end par suaina tang angle am nei bra angle tor nang suai singda bra adini even though they say you pull it at some angle kan singbata so that still kari will still the back will be moving hora intelli with chapter bra. It doesn't move like this. That means your equilibrium condition will be maintained in the vertical direction, perpendicular to the surface. Perpendicular to the surface, the maintain to the new. Karigumba was a horrible language in the R plus mg cos theta. If R plus mg cos theta is greater than mg, then the body will have a tendency to move upward, that is move above the rough surface. Rough surface ki mathak da swaina ka pa ya ra da na losing na tak na tro nang bora do sing no mata back to pa swaina pull to matam da nang back to swaina kano surface do swaina jump to kala pura na takulakti ko adu itari ke utara you have to kari hamasa take the equilibrium condition in vertical direction. Vertical direction means perpendicular to the rough surface. Can we put like this? This is R plus mg cos of theta exactly equal to mg ka mana. That means you have to write like this. This is the equilibrium. Equilibrium will be maintained. Equilibrium will be maintained in a direction, in a direction perpendicular to rough surface. Rough surface is the perpendicular beginning. Yani ko say, third from here we can evaluate the value of r. R will be equal to what must be the value of your r? When this mg cos theta is transferred over this side, it will be mg taken common out and it will be 1 minus cos of theta tabra. Understood the point? Once we get the normal direction, non-normal direction, find out we can find out the value of your frictional force F है ना इवे आबरा दबरा यार understood तो वो मैं कोई हैरी से अरे तो कब हैरी से F will be equal to क्या माना बस है therefore our frictional force F is equal to mu mg this is 1 minus cos of theta लाख यार को R value तो पुट चलो now second condition this is not the end of our calculation for your question number 84 so 84 ki loidri but nang gi b yung take hara blok hoto jise re ana sig formula khumre mo sig cyber roi ni giro ko ai sidai given chala roi cyber roi ka si ana giro sin of 2 theta sin of 2 theta se kega manaba we have already done this in your projectile chapter that I had taught sin theta is 2 sin of theta cos of theta and hybrid bro like multiplication equal is and what about your cos of 2 theta cos of 2 theta is kaya managi how to express the 2 times the angle theta minus express the it can be expressed as minus express the way I call cos square theta minus sin square theta yare atuka sidam yemo this can be also be expressed as 2 times cos square theta minus 1 or this can be expressed as 1 minus 2 times sin square theta that means your cos of 2 theta will be like this your cos of 2 theta will be like this cos of 2 theta will have 3 different types of expression lakane yadra yare ko yes khongro ko khongro si khangma mi now aina taning ni conclusion is minor lagum bani sigi 1 le विशेषण kan transfer to that means from this equation we will be having 1 plus cos of 2 theta is equal to 2 times cos square theta yadra and sigi jamu swala if we transfer this 2 sin square theta over here 1 minus cos of 2 theta is equal to this will be 2 sin square theta tabra see mathematical formula ni adi simple na you see forget to ge su tem tagai lete if 1 plus cos it will be still cos tabra 1 minus 2 times 1 minus cos of 2 times the angle it will be 2 times sin square theta understand tawre these are known as multiple formula ko now let us try the corresponding multiple formula because we are going to utilize multiple formula for this question number 84 question number 84 ki multiple formula apply to bani adu jaktang exercise sonokan site irage ko my multiple formula da sin of theta can be write like this is equal to sin of 2 times into this is theta by 2 when modify to abra sin theta modify to where na it can be written as 2 times the half of the angle theta yagadre bro as khamu me adu you consider this theta to be theta by 2 ga manaraba matriba then we can apply the same formula like this is 2 times sin of theta by 2 and another will be cos of theta by 2 ni ibe abra dabra understand to me ko ai hari se now hatang na final la asi ko cos of 2 theta ibe mo hota ne we can also express like this cos of theta can be written as cos of this is 2 times into theta by 2 ni ibe abra yare after all is done nang loi ibe lo kan smile ibe araba this is 2 times kana organize cos square sidemo so kanda 2 oiba matamda so kanda ke yang siko 2 oiba matamda it is reduced to theta ya dai ko this is theta with this will be reduced to kya lakani se theta by 2 the reduced to bro minus 1 ya dai understood to we ko hai se this is your cos of theta. Therefore, we will be having 1 plus cos of theta is equal to 2 times cos square theta by 2. Angle दो देखो 1 plus cos of 2 theta लाकर 10 के लिए 2 times cos square theta. Angle is reduced by half of ra. And now see 2 times here. It is only theta. So that be the half of theta will become theta by 2. Okay. Understand the me? Following like that, we can also have another formula. 1 minus 1 minus instead of your cos to theta, we have to write only this is cos of theta is equal to 2 times sin square theta by 2. Understood the me? Basically, you have to remember this, or remember this one. Hangani ko. Adu exam you in this now. The conclusion number phangabra. Adu di sidhi live se sigi conclusion ji kai hai. Yung sun ka kai no tha kita copy to no ta hanga. Tawle ne yar f is equal to mu, this will be mg under normal condition atro. Under normal condition, when the force applied is horizontal, your frictional force will be kya manani f is equal to mu mg ke tab natra. Adu here if you pull the same object at some angle theta the pull to bata ragadi, it is now reduced to reduced to mu mg minus mu mg cos of theta, some value demand of minus over. I has come my frictional force this is mu mg minus, if you multiply this will be mu mg cos of theta later wrong. Actually originally this must natra. See this must is subtracted when we drag or when we pull at this angle inclined to pull to this term is to be subtracted natra. Some value of the friction will be reduced over. Here your friction is considered to be reduced in your pulling case at some angle theta. Is that understood or not? And in conclusion, conclusion number 1 theoretical conception your pulling is better than pushing in high never. There will be 2 types of pulling. One will be horizontal pulling and another will be pulling at some angle theta. And pulling at some angle theta is more easier than the horizontal pulling. Why? Because your friction is reduced by this much of factors in decrease the wood. Understand the Miko? Now let us come to our last. Man had question of the party, my question of Fulona return dramatic. Man having condition, what is the condition? A block of the mass small m rests on a rough horizontal surface as shown in the figure A and B and P record. The coefficient of the friction between the block and the surface is mu no pi. A force F equal to mg x and angle theta with the vertical side of the block. Find the condition. We have to find out the condition. Find the condition for which the block will move along the surface. Block say surface along have Nico. That means the body is going to move in which direction? To the left or to the right? Along height it will be moving along the direction of mg sin of theta. The second result is wrong. This mg sin theta must be greater than or equal to f. According to our condition, we must apply mg sin theta. We must have a value of mg sin theta greater than your f. According to this condition, according to our given condition, mg sin of theta, you have to write like this, must be greater than f. Understand the have the any item of the 5 rupees P. That means you must have at least 5 rupees or more than that. concept se khangi ko nang na pen ama le da 5 rupees neba adu you must at least have 5 rupees or more than that habadi it must be greater than or equal to the frictional force so that the body may start to have its motion ma chanan gya ta di equal to obe ai to more than obe ai na to gyan dar ko se khangi ko here you put the value this is equal to mg kana la ko se sin of theta greater than equal to f की value आता है mu mg now put the value of 1 minus cos of theta क्या आता है 1 minus cos of theta क्या आता है 2 times क्या लागू से this is 2 times your sin square करना लागू से theta by 2 ता बता दो रा यानी को अदो इताटी here this mg get cancel out mg cancel सकरे को now can we have this sin theta is coming here sin theta can be written as minus here वाला तो bro 2 times sin theta by 2 kana la cos of theta by 2 ini here देखो cos of theta by 2 greater than equal to mu times क्या ला को दिन से into 2 of sin square theta by 2 ini here bro यार जानता नहीं understood तो हूँ हमें अदो here this 2 and 2 get cancel out 1 sin theta by 2 get cancelled out with this power cancel out so when this is transferred over this side we will be having cos divided by sin cos the sin entire di kay gamana cot ko manabra this will be equal to cot of theta by 2 greater than equal to mu tabra ta dago this will be the required condition o dine ko sida ina photo ya dagi photo ani don't think it is very difficult jam difficult when khangano you just memorize this one sima memorize already and you have to memorize only this condition this three problem ko khangane ba kaya na khalani for question number 84 da we have to extract three concept number 1 the pulling is better than pushing kya ni ko why hai ta be in your pulling case ke utare your friction is friction will be reduced kya ni ko sina point number 2 next number 3 what is the condition for obtaining the motion for the pulling case the coefficient of friction must be less than equal to 4 of theta by 2 where theta is the angle of the externally force applied the externally applied force F for pushing case maning dagi apply to gunatra front dagi torogana pulling back dagi torogana pushing yan tai ko adu di sida nang khangdu se here this body is acted upon by 4 different type of forces as explained in your case number A case number A da explain to gito adu cham manana aju weight ama ek toraba normal direction namle raba laire adudagi externally applied force F record then tell me what will be the direction of your frictional force will it be to the left or to the right to the left or right this one the side kadra sun ye kadra small f value se this side khangani ko nang si ko your push to green push to target it will have a tendency to move in which direction to the right amol area adudi your frictional force will be opposite to it. The smile after the loud draw. This is the frictional force F, and this will be your pushing force. Like understand the way. Other we here. Nangi can also vector this result of that it will be quite difficult. Now we extend the diagram. Nangi diagram se extend on the top shape. I mean the result of the side. So later result of it is quite easy way na. This can be also resolved as you can result of where is the F cos of theta now F sin of theta lakra but however the direction seems to be opposite on the prasatara I has bro nang vector smile ka pupune ba ali nang horing company ye pu ta bi smile ka dala wa company to it will be like this F of theta to say F of F means it will be mg kana la se cos of theta direction this is opposite na la lai na kya da aduna nang sa difficult or kasu difficult di oil nang hinada su yaw mo diya ko aduna let us put like this minus law receive. This is F equal to using your equal vector concept. Equal vector concept में क्या है? Without changing the magnitude and without changing the direction, we can change the or we can shift the vector. Given vector हम जो shift हो गया बरा तबरा, मा direction change हो गया तब दे, magnitude change हो गया तब दे. Here this will be equal to F is equal to mg. Can we redraw the diagram like this? Fine, draw हो गया बरा. यार इको यार इसे खाना बो. Understood to me? Yeah, ready? Next time, what must be this angle? C angle is if this is theta, this angle will be also theta. That means the component along this direction will be this will be mg plus mg cos of theta. Understand to me? C externally applied force F equal to m is this is result over this side. There I go. What is the component of this externally applied force over here? This will be Fg. This is sine of theta. Finish our quick normal direction. Normal direction will be equal to mg 1 plus cos of theta. Our frictional force F will be equal to F pushing will be equal to mg mu mg. This is 1 plus cos of theta. That means your friction increases. My friction will increase the growth of the bra. That is why from our diagram number A and diagram number B, we come to the conclusion that your pulling is far better than pushing. क्या तबरा? करम ने easier way. Pulling is easier than pushing. क्या तबरा? I understand तब mo mo. I do the ones ngasagi long calculation ko mohota just conclusion na lang like 1 plus cos theta na sahagi draw 1 plus cos theta la kanina like na amma sahagi decrease agudana 1 minus cos theta. That's enough. And kayo bata magi after all the calculation is done na calculation ro hupulo rakanda n of kanala kasi theta by 2 is greater than equal to mu. This is the second condition. Ay natra hayin ko ay harise. Next the incline game tang ay holang gi incline gi tak tari ko. Question number nang 85 to mga tok sila si. Question number 85. Ay na sir incline surface ki kano ditak ra pero sa hasing ka ra ring the rough na tipo smooth surface sa malay rekhala jiba. This is a smooth surface and this angle is theta in ecology. Theta will be now known as angle of inclination. Hi ko any object which is placed on this smooth inclined surface this body will have an acceleration equal to kya hoga ni? What is the acceleration down the inclined plane? क्या था कि ये mg sin theta और cos theta acceleration हम बोली को force हम बोलते को force क्यों बोलते क्या होता है the unbalanced force that will be responsible for producing the sliding motion down the inclined plane will be क्या था बा mg कना लाकनी उसे sin of theta and how the bro mg sin theta is the component of the force that is responsible for sliding down the inclined plane. Thangani. And what must be the acceleration? Acceleration that A is equal to g sin of theta, which we have already understood in your smooth surface ki koi tak hai. Yaad ka? Yaad ko se ai thangani. Whatever we have studied in your smooth surface, this is going to be studied again in your kanata friction da study to with little changes. Question number 85 a block of mass 2 kg is placed on a plane inclined at angle 37. Aina na noida pero ditaka ba the correlation between 37 degree and 53 Free tactri. Kahit naman yung ang tak ni po. Yung kasi, ita is equal to 37 naman lere. Now, bigla pa, an object is placed mo find thamra hami. Gyan tay ko. This is body of mass m na nagkalo. Ato yung tang haro se. Normal direction de do we have to draw the normal direction in this direction or do we have to draw the normal direction in this direction? Normal direction di kino. Ay na habi ko ba deba normal direction must be drawn kana we know say perpendicular to the surface na hybrid bro. This will be our normal direction. Aramata brata dabra. And for any inclined surface whether it is rough or smooth surface, normal direction must be drawn opposite to which component of the wedge? Mg sine or mg cos? Mg cos ka log na to. Si kayo itare. This is equal to mg kana log utare sa cos of theta. Ay kyan tao bro, tao to bro. Si understand tao ba de ko. Habidi actually man asli dije mg na sa particularly tao na bra. Oy ko. So here the another component will be CK. This will be mg kanala ko sa sine of theta. Yang complex one logo ko simple no na an inclined surface ki bata raga dina. You just draw the diagram like this. R opposite to mg cos theta and down the inclined plane you just write it as mg sine theta. Yagadra for any condition. Hangani ko man si cos theta 37 we will put the value of theta after studying after understanding your correlation between 53 and 37. 53 ka 37 ga gina ay talak hiye ko. Diagram sa understand taw gisi. Ado ikenta hayo smooth surface or talaga di what must be the condition? Smooth surface ko di very simple way na the object will be sliding down the inclined plane. Kaya na tro. Understood ko ngami. However, this is rough or mina. Tell me the direction of your friction. Nang friction se karam diye kani. Karam diye tage. It must be drawn up the inclined plane yakadra. The body has a tendency to slide down. Makada tarak magi magi tendency level later bro. There ko. Magi son kanda. This will be the direction of our friction force small f. Sibo understand taw ngami. Yadra. Every mechanics that we have discussed for the smooth surface here. When reconsider just by taking the consideration of frictional force F, which will be opposite to its tendency. Yay ko. Kasay ko na discuss na udi nangi M design kita hari kasi gusto nang greo. Complete hoy gibra. Oy, ado next the rough surface there will be frictional force which oppose the motion up the inclined plane among lakabra line. Understand to nga madro? Yari ko. Now let us read the remaining part of the question of tingi. The coefficient of the friction between the block and the surface is 0.7 nama P ko. My coefficient pyramid. What will be the frictionless frictional force on the block? What do you mean by this? Man hai si kayo. Sige meaning si kayo. Next ano to number B dong kay period sa what will be the force applied by the inclined plane on the block? Hai ba ne? Adu di nangi first ki je toko karo ko. First ki di that is very simple. Nangi understand taw no na spinal compiro. What will be the frictionless frictional force? I do frictionless to kathalo may confusing chala ni ko. Question to delete to ko. Number 8, what will be the frictional force on the block? Yara ba? Yari ko. Next, ani subada number B, what will be the force applied by the inclined plane on the block? Hai never. Ano di question dito hangisi kayo number B da. Understanding your question number B is very important. Kayo naman hangisi. Is it? Mana kariharan mo surface haram ranatra. Surface na force क्या generate हुई? Two forces generate होगा. Normal direction नमगा frictional force हम करना तो. ये निगरान करी है कि surface ना कुछ हुई से क्या कुछ हुआ पर two forces perpendicular to one another that is normal direction R and the frictional force F हमने लेना, the resultant between these two forces will be known as resultant frictional force produced by the surface. क्या अंदाज़ा? Number B इतना हंगी जे underline तब लगे इधर वो resultant frictional force is Bx. क्या अंदाज़ा? हाँ बगी number A इतना only frictional force small f तो है बको. Number B दा हम इसना resultant frictional force with R and F taken in consideration. Today muko nagi ini saya itu 53 nya 37 ini bagi convention taki correlation taki hari berada. Now let us consider a right triangle. Right triangle हम इसे consider तो एक कलर देवा. According to our simple concept यानी कि हम this is 90 degree liberally करो 90 के opposite like this. The side of this is opposite to the rectus angle will be the longest. Longest तागनी height को. Otherwise, now let us consider this to be your this is 37 and this is your 53 Otherwise, here second largest angle this 53 and the smallest angle will be 37. This is quite evident because in a right triangle, if one angle is 90 or 30, the remaining two angle will be 90. Understand the here? We have understand this 3 Pythagorean triplets. 3 square plus 4 square is equal to क्या माने बा? I'm square mana bro mana तो bro माने. I see you. The Pythagoras theorem is करी है. If this is 4, this is 3, this is 5 or 30, the sum of square of base and the hypotenuse will give you the square of hypotenuse square. हम इको यार से Pythagoras theorem नत्रा. And the sixth Pythagoras theorem is speciality is 3 consecutive number 3, 4, 5. Have the 3 numbers are consecutive to one another. Among number like 3, 4, 4, 5. When we take the square sum of the two smallest number, then it will give the square of the greatest number among the 3 numbers. Natra, Madu itati Pythagorean triplet oibra. Now, check the if 3 is multiplied with 2, 2 is the multiplied it will be 6 and every side is the 2 to the multiplied this will be equal to 8 multiplied this is and you try to apply the Pythagoras theorem apply 6 square plus 8 square 36 plus 64 this is still 100 Pythagorean triplet whatever you multiply, whatever you divide set, it must be for every side to again. Understood? Now we will extend this concept over here. See that you say 90 opposite among this 3, 4 and 5. Which one will be the greatest? 5 lakh. Your hypotenuse will be represented by the greatest value. Why? Because this is the longest side. Next, second, which one will be the second longest side term? 53 opposite. Now it will be 4x. Smallest 37 this will be 3x. So if in the question sign of sign of 37 how to evaluate sign of 37. Sin 37 means perpendicular by hypotenuse. This will be 3 by 5. 3x, x get cancel out. Next time cos of 53 lower is cos 53 is equal to base by hypotenuse, that is 3 by 5. Next time cos of 37 lower is cos 37 base by hypotenuse, that is 4 by 5. Next हम sin of क्या था बस है sin of 53 लोग था here से क्या था बस 4/5 था बता था ने I illustrate तो नहीं सकते बनते these 37 and 53 are complementary to one another 90 था बता थिंजना बता the sum of two angles तो 90 होता है it is known as complementary angle नेवा अदुगा सी complementary particular complementary angle of 37 and 53 will follow this logic से follow तब it will not be true for 70 or 20 का सुमा complementary और बड़ा इधर boy you cannot apply this shortcut trick for 5x 3x 4x है apply तो गया this will be true only for 37 and 53 only understand तब उंगा मिंगम दे यार अतरा इंगांगे से खंगा निको अभी नंग सीधे वो sin 37 का cos 53 का सी एंगल से क्या आता है complementary था बरा और this sin 37 की complementary और cos क्या था बा cos 53 they do have the same value क्या था इको अतो को मुख्य तो cos 37 की complementary 53 था बरा you take for sin it will be for by same value understood तो वो अभी ऐसे खंगा तो से खंगा निको मान 37 सिलम तारी if you do not know this concept then do you know the exact value of cos 37 or sin 37 खंगुरा ने खंग देखो यार next number 1 दा नन friction को थोड़ा है नत्रा friction को तो कह दिया आहा में के तो नहीं normal direction r हम को थोड़ा है नत्रा r is कमाई r is equal to mg cos of 37 can we put like this क्या कतरा यार देखो मान mass पिरम बरा exact value पिरम गनी what is the mass 2 kg में पिरम देखो this is equal to 2 kg into g की वैल्यू जितने नने लोगी रो मरम दी सीधा लोनी में 5 लाख तो कैंसिलेशन से अपन वाइना बुको cos 37 की क्या आता है 4/5 में ताबरा तारे कैंसिल चलो अदु क्या तारा नहीं this will be equal to 16 नंबर ताबरा राइट को है से कमनी नेक्स्ट टाइम ये वो f ती क्या रमा को तो f will be equal to this is mu r को ताबरा या देखो this will be mu r so our answer will be equal to क्या तावा mu की वैल्यू क्या पी 0.2 पी बरा 0.7 पी बरा 0.7 into this is 16 वैल्यू क्या आता है 16 का 7 5 लाख बरा 0.112 याव बरा याव बरा 11.2 अदे दी करा इधर kayak ila lagi oh kue nama kata ni kau asida ahum putih makan je sumi ya ada simulate ada ya ko next time yang si ado di here si di do makata ni ko mocharo f resultant di kamai ta dino sa this will be f resultant na lapra f resultant ko na bakit to kya mana ba sa f resultant will be equal to root over f square plus r square ma ham graph to bra na first day the low most kano ki frictional chapter की frictional topic की first day दा इनसे explain तो की को I will your normal direction and the frictional force are perpendicular to one another so the resultant magnitude of the frictional force will be equal to f square r square you put the value and find out by taking square root तो follow this is the f square की क्या नो से ना कि 11.2 whole thing square plus r square की क्या नो 16 square सिनो नेम तो होचा रो पाई लिखी yang tabra hari je ada answer do kan ta dalam 19.5 sim ta mania kan 90 का 96 का यो से क्वेश्चन 90 का 96 का तो तौनाइदा अमना one vertical का कनो का नत्रो one horizontal का पिब्रा p अब इसका तो हारो से हाना स्मूथ सरफेस आना तो कंसीडर तो उसी को से theoretical question हो ना तो मुझे पे आगे this is m1 this is your m2 ने खला जे को this is your m2 then तो हारो से how to find out if this is considered to be smooth this smooth surface को बता रहा है दिने तो है what will be the acceleration a will be equal to ai ce is maning ka ko letter si yang pick price small over kra sa khana yura yani ko a will be equal to si kya mana gani sa ta ro ai ro nenoi mari manong da ma hai ro si hai yo ai ro ta ro what must be the expression if this is smooth. Are we going to consider M1 or M2? Which one is responsible for the motion? M2 natra. If this is M2, M2 is the mass that is responsible for the motion. And what about the horizontal mass? We have to ignore it natra. Ignore to natra. Minus 0 divided by kya hoga? M1 plus M2 mlak tabra. Finish into this is G tabra. That's enough. Sikhangani ko. Ado di here slight changes khatani ko ne discuss ta biji. Abi once you understand the whole concept, entire concept in your smooth case, smooth condition khamu tadi the same nangi kano se concept can be extended to your kanada extend to ga gani ma kare ba se nangi rap ta mula kani ma. Ado kita haru in terms of mass weight ta ta di here m2g is the weight responsible right the bro divided by. Is there any weight? Horizontal weight से कोई consider करो it will be m1 plus m2. से तुम मसाला से g को multiply करो तारक तो bro. जानता है कोई है understand तो होगा मी. Now let us extend our concept for a rough surface of the extend concept. This is for your rough surface को ना consider करो सी. This is your m1 in the color C and here. This is pulley system lekano. This is your m2 product like understand toro. And here nan simple ho ina si rabo ramina. Are we going to are we going to ignore m1 horizontal mass ignore to godra toro. This will produce some sort of opposition to the motion da ma oppose kara to godra toro idro toro ni kari gino se. Your m2 will be descending downward with acceleration a and your m1 will be moving to the right. This one is it will have a frictional force in this direction. F we must have r as the simple nangi this r ni pinu putona bi magtani we simply find out m1g the half is maram se to understand the value of r or to find out the value of r no bi katane ba dhyan dei ko but simple na sida ka haro se everything the force that is responsible for the motion kana motion jo pretawi m2g mlak tabra it will basically like this is m2g mlak. We can put like this. This is m2g minus which force will be opposing the motion. Kana oppose the way horizontal mass to it is kept on the horizontal mass is kept on the horizontal rough surface. So it will generate or it will produce a frictional force, and this frictional force will try to oppose the motion. That is why we must minus it, we must subtract it. Yarba, divided by total mass, that is m1 plus m2. Finish. Hey, get right, draw. Hey, ready? Get the equation. Now, I will see if you put my value to put the film. This is m2g, and what about your friction? The friction f is equal to mu m1g. Mu m1g type na say, and here you put the value as mu m1g divided by total mass m1 plus m2. This is in terms of force. In terms of kanoda eta di nangi mass di eta kailani. Which mass will be responsible? Kanana responsible oy? M2 is responsible natra. M2 is responsible minus which mass is kept on the rough surface? Kanada thami. M1 is kept on the rough horizontal surface, and this will generate some sort of resistance to the motion natra. But here very simple enough, your friction will be defined by coefficient of friction. So the mass must be multiplied with the coefficient of friction minus the opposing mass, that is mu m1. The mass that is kept on the rough surface must be multiplied with coefficient of friction divided by total mass m1 plus m2 into this is g. This is finish. Ay ganda. Ay ready. Yan tay ko sa ay kumuro ko. Aduga mo system mo sa kan mai how to find out the tension here. Tension jang kang iro for both case ani mo kita kayo gani. M2 is descending tabra. Descending with the apparent weight increases or decreases? Decreases. So we are going to take it as M2. This is G minus A. And I see if question in connected pulley systems, the if tension is being asked, then you should apply the shortcut trick for vertical masses. Vertical masses when apply to over. You should not apply for your horizontal mass. Apply to over. We can get the same answer from Nico. It will be too long. Yam sangane ko. Vertically it will have only two options, either descending or ascending. Natra descending or minus G. Yani ko G minus A. Ascending or G plus A. That will be much easier than this one. Ay ba language sikhamu bro. Nana sidi ita di M2 khakde ita dinya. I see turning is a hanging is a very simple one. M2 is the hanging mass neva. This is M2G bro, and this is our tension T, and this is moving downward. Which one will be greater? Greater M2G is greater. This is descending. This is known as free body diagram. From a system of body, if we consider only a particular block of mass, consider that diagram representing all the forces that act on this mass M2 separately will be known as free body diagram. Understood the way? Now, according to our simple equation of motion which one will be greater? M2G is greater, but here M2G will be greater. That is M2G minus T is equal to M2A, and from there we can simplify M2, this is transferred over here, G minus A, and this is our tension T. This is how we obtain our tension, but this must be conceptualized as when the body is descending, simply decrease in the weight G minus A. Yagadra, understand the woman? Now she sends the how to evaluate how to find out your tension by taking your M1. This is quite difficult in the this is F. So this is tension T bro. Like this is nangi kana acceleration A here and combine half your tension T. Which one will be greater? T or F? T will be greater within T minus F is equal to M1 EM that means tension T is equal to M1 A plus F. That means you have to find out the value of F. Calculate simply you apply your free body diagram for hanging masses, that is vertical masses. Vertical masses will have only two conditions, two options, either descending or ascending. Ascending, descending the calculate the easy way na. I understand the ngami. Al nangi question number 10 odo. No to mucha ba hinadra. Question number 90 over pa hinadra. Pagtang holo. 90 to holo. MD ko buwa. Question number 90 is a two block masses A and B are arranged as shown in the figure of period. The pulley is frictionless or aduga the mass of A is given as 20 kg period. That means the horizontal mass is 20 kg. Then what must be the minimum mass of your hanging mass B so that your motion will begin, provided that the coefficient of friction is 0.3. Yarba, I have come out. Almana sila happy kari karam kari sila utara. Yo, man last minimum mass in hybrid or the two start having a minimum mass, two start of motion. I thought this is limiting case for the. Do you understand by this last line? Limiting case की question है अगर question तार को theory तार को तो easy होगा question तार को तो ये तो difficult होगा सीधे तो ये मान है जे the minimum mass of B to start a motion means क्या है बता रहे हैं we have to consider the limiting case. The body which body M1 is about to move to the right is a turn na to and here what is the what is the force that would be responsible for producing motion to M1 that mana the acceleration like in a logo understand the here your tension T is exactly equal to F question is the man you should equate your tension T exactly equal to F external force frictional force F to the man about to move height simple logic that this is frictional force F is equal to 20 m lakh. This is 20 Newton. Sina external force lakh. External force that will produce motion. C20 will be this is limiting case. Limiting case we call. Limiting case this is about to have its motion. About to have a lakh. This diagram simple is this body is the question the system that is mentioned in the question is the system under motion or is the system in equilibrium. I say acceleration equilibrium about to have an minimum about to have more than that the motion will be started. Okay? Understood to bra? Hamong to prana ay ngang ibo. Say question ba isi ko talaga say hay nakalaji theory ma'am je. Si sila ko. Yan ni ko say. Sila gi kumla ko tiyaw to bani. Ay na hingi siya. Sila nang simple na sila yung tapiro. Sila talagay ko siya. Sila yung talagay. M1 sigma value is M1 is equal to 20 kg. This is 20 kg and here we have to find out the value of your MB. MB value this is question mark never. We will have your tension T over here. We will have tension T over here and mark tendency of the body the external force है, see body of mass 20 kg है, you have to consider that this is being acted upon by a pulling force T to the right. नत्रा, कोई खंडी से थोड़ी ना सिंगे खंडी rope से ना pull to the right, खंडी ना drop, so it will have a tendency to move if motion is allowed. Motion जे allowed तो बता रही the body will move to the left or to the right. Right to move to the drop. Motion जे allowed तो बता रही to the right or बनीना. We will have frictional force in this direction. This is your question number क्या ना? 19 नत्रा. This is for your question number 19 नी. F हम ले ले. Ado here very simple होई ना. Your acceleration is equal to 0. This will be acceleration is equal to 0. कहीं ना acceleration 0 low is that. This is our limiting case ता बता द bro. Limiting case होता है कि क्या होगी सर. This particle mass is about to have its motion. About to have निको. It is not yet. नंगी कहीं नो ये open नत्रा. अतो इसी के बता है सर. This will be नंगी कहीं सर. This is limiting case और अपनी ना smile happy रो. About to see about to have motion होता है. This is equilibrium condition हो bro. Equilibrium condition ni. अतो the equilibrium condition यदि कमाना आनी से one must be the T is equal to क्या हमारा बा? T is equal to mvg ni इबे abra dabra. Can we have this one or not? This will be still hanging na bro. ना motion दा हो start होता है. It is about to begin now. About to begin होता है. This is mvg labra. Sigma acceleration 0 आपकी ले रहे. Next हम ये मज़ी. Next for your horizontal mass दी इनका भी कमाना पता है. For your horizontal mass कहीं बता रहे horizontal mass की दी और F से कहीं माना नहीं. F will be equal to mu m1g यानी इबे abra dabra यार देखो. And very simple होई ना. If this is in equilibrium, this must be also in equilibrium. I have already told you that for connected system, if one body is in motion, then the remaining part of the body will be also in motion. Like dina tro. Nang nasigi kanosna hanging mass na descending tawraba. Ado ka kanosna sigi horizontal mass na rest level that is impossible. Utopia buko. If this is at rest, this must be also at rest. If this is moving, this must be also moving. Kya tareko? Because they are connected through a string. String amana connect to guna maram guna. Yaar ni? Hange. Other here F will be equal to T and if can we put like this F is equal to T. Yareko F case na. This is for your hanging case. Hanging case tadi kayo manisa weight will be equal to Mach tension T. Finish. F ki value mapiro. What is the value of mu? Mu capital 0.3. So mu let me put like this. This is mu m1g and this is equal to tension. T is equal to mvg and ibe abra the rock. This get cancel out. Khangani ko. Here this will be 0.3 m tare ko into this is 20. And here mv. That means our mass mv will be equal to kya mana ba 6 kg. Yeah, betul. The minimum mass that should be here will be क्या था? देखो सर 6 kg लागती है. मान लें तो कितना mass है क्या आपको 6 kg minimum दा. 6 kg यानी वो तब नमाज motion में लगेगा. Will there be motion? No. It is about to have motion. हमें निको. When we have this 6 kg में होता mb is equal to नंगी 6.01 kg और एक कलर it will generate your acceleration. The body mb will be descending downward. ठीक है ना? ऐसे हमें लिखो. की मैं यहाँ ताकत लगे 96 diagram में कुल रेको सिनुना युंगा try तो जगह तो नहीं मानसिक कुछ सही आई वो भी रखे मैं है रो है को न हो लगे को आंसर से try की तो लगे हो ऑप्शन नंबर 1 ताबा मदिया रे 17 is to 24 the answer ताबा